Hey guys, we're back. Another Wednesday.
Another beautiful Wednesday.
Oh, is it
Yes.
nice?
It is 80. It's 85, I think, here when I left work.
I like it.
It's muggy though.
Must be the humidity.
Must be the humidity. Oh, yeah. I don't know, guys. I feel like this might be the last gasp before she cools off permanent. We're
Yep,
getting
it's
close
that
to
time.
October. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the burr months.
Yeah. I feel like snow's not far away, which is hilarious because it was 85 today. But I start to get
Yeah.
that little bit of pucker factor in October, like I'm pushing the limits with my cars.
Yep.
Like any day I could wake up and go, shit, I should have put those away yesterday.
I'm way ahead of that curve. I never took it out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that is what she said.
That's how you make a baby, dude. Be careful.
Right?
That's what I hear anyway. So, all right, let's get. Well, actually, before we get started, um, we should lay down some ground rules for this powerlifting showdown we're gonna have after the first of the year. I'm calling it. We're gonna do it in January.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Get about
not
that?
March. I think we should do it in March.
March.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You guys need more time to train. Is that what it is?
Oh, 100%. That's what it is.
I was gonna, because I haven't been in the gym in a few months, so I'm not I'm not ready either. But
Especially if we're gonna take a video of this crap. Yeah,
yeah,
2 extra months I'll take it.
So we're doing a 3 lift?
yep, 3 lift total: squat,
Okay.
deadlift, bench.
Well, I can still bench a plate.
You know, dude, honestly, with you want to do everything but bench until the day of the lift because you seem to lift your most the first time you do it after it's been a while.
Exactly. Yep.
So I wouldn't touch bench press until the event.
Oh, just send it on the competition, man.
Well, Jordan's been on my case to get back in the gym too because, he's 13, so the boys are like arm wrestling each other at school, and he keeps talking about bulking up. I told him,
I like it.
just take it easy. You're 14.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Dad, I need mass gainer.
I know. He really does think that. Like, son, you're ripped. Don't worry about it. When your muscles mature, you'll get bigger.
Yeah.
Oh well. He'll be fine. Okay, so it's gonna be bench, squat, deadlift. Yeah, in March.
I'm in.
We'll do it.
Uh-huh.
We'll do it. I think I'll be. Well, I don't know what I'll be. I'll definitely need the time to build up, though. That's for sure.
It'll be fun. Gives you something to work towards for the whole winter here.
It does. Where are
Yeah.
we gonna do it?
Obviously, we probably should do it up your way.
We can,
Yeah.
but we could even do it at Tommy's house.
Yeah, we good. I need a home field advantage.
Because you have a squat rack.
Mm-hmm.
How many plates do you have?
If he has more
I can
than
get
one.
weight here. Actually, I don't have enough.
Okay. All right. We'll do it at the one here in town then. That's no problem.
Okay. You guys are
So-
going down, just so you know.
It's a 3 lift total. Well, I'm trying to think, like, How much have I actually lifted even remotely lately? I think I've
Last
pulled...
time we lifted, I didn't touch bench. We were doing 405 deadlifts, 405 squats, and we didn't go any heavier than that.
I don't think I pulled 405 though. I think I was in the 300s somewhere when we quit.
Okay.
And I think on bench, the most I benched was 365 for a couple without the slingshot. With the slingshot, I benched 405 twice. That doesn't count. Although if anybody asks, I still say, yeah, I can bench 405. Just let me get just let me get my band.
Yeah. I'm gonna drink an entire or eat an entire container of pre-workout before we do this. Like we can pour it in our faces like the stupid videos on YouTube. Spill it all over the place.
I'll slip you 20 if you snort it. Because that'd be awesome. Plus, I think it would hurt. That's why you deserve the money if you do it.
Would that burn, hey?
Oh
my God.
Plus, that is a big dose of caffeine, and it would be a direct to your bloodstream right there. That'd be something. That might actually hurt you. I don't know. That Juji Lufu's probably done it. That guy does everything.
That guy's awesome.
He is.
That long-haired blonde guy?
Yeah, the curly, curly, long blonde hair.
Yeah.
I was watching him arm wrestle just a little bit ago because Jordan and I were discussing it. I don't know. I remember being his age when 7th and 8th grade, for whatever reason, that was the age. Like me and like the other guys at school, this was be Gaylord Middle School. We were arm wrestling each other all the time. I don't know why now, but
I think one night last year season, I think we arm wrestled each other each like 30 times one night.
I think I missed that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who won? No? Nobody?
What's that?
Who won?
I think I did.
I think Ben did.
And then Ben Johnson came another time, and then he smoked me.
Did he?
Yeah. Ben, let's arm wrestle. Okay. And I was like, ah. So much for I felt tough, and then I felt normal again.
No, I can't do that. Those are my younger days. My shoulder ain't built for that anymore.
So you're saying I have a chance. Tommy's injured. Here I come.
Kick him when he's down.
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good time. We're going to lock that in.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We'll do some pictures and video. It should be good. All right. Well, you had mentioned that the other week, and I wanted to get back and talk about it because you're right. If we put it out there and we know what's coming, we're going to put the work in. Don't
For
want
sure.
to be embarrassed. Yeah. So, first thing I had for us is some crazy guy in Florida took a 2002 Mercury Cougar and converted it into a Bugatti Veyron lookalike. Which I wouldn't think that would be big enough to make a Veyron out of, but if it is, then I guess that gives me an idea of how big those cars actually are. Which would be not very. Just
Not
wide.
very.
But I have to say, like, looking at the picture, he did a pretty good job. That looks like a Veyron.
It looks very cool.
Yeah. I mean, dude, what's a Mercury Cougar got in it? Some
Little
kind of
four-banger?
multi-port V6.
Yeah. That's a pretty sporty little car back in the 90s there.
Yeah. Maybe 200 horsepower. Probably not, but somewhere in that realm. I'm trying to think. That Pontiac Grand Prix I think had around 200 horsepower. So I would guess 200 horsepower. So in other words, like 1,000 less than a Veyron. and it would be wrong wheel drive.
Dude has talent, though.
Huh?
The dude has talent.
He does. I mean, that's impressive. And yeah, the leather that they added to the interior and the way he did the interior, it doesn't look like, a 2002 Cougar on the inside either. I mean, it doesn't exactly look like a Veyron, of course, but he dolled it up really nice. So, of course, he's selling it, and he wants $125,000 for it. Now, that seems ridiculous for a kit car, except it does look just like a Veyron, and a Veyron is, what, 1.2 million? Something like there? 1.4 million?
Yeah, too much.
So maybe it's a steal. I don't know. Maybe that's the deal of the century. However, and this is a big however, do you really want to be one of those guys with the, what would you call it? The Rolex instead of the Rolex? the the diamond encrusted watch that'll turn your wrist green. But if it's all cleaned up and shiny, who knows?
It's like saying you have a convertible, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is it?" And it's like, "Oh, it's a Pontiac Sunfire."
When you were, as soon as you said that, what popped in my head? 88 Chrysler LeBaron. Yeah.
Suzuki Grand. What was that from that?
97
commercial?
Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. It's impressive. I don't think it's worth 125. Well, actually, I think it might be worth 125 grand. I just don't know who the hell would want that. Especially at that money. Like, you could buy a ZR1 Corvette, a Porsche 911. You could get a used, like, Lamborghini Gallardo for, like, 80. Or a used Ferrari California. Yeah. I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I'd go that route.
That's a toughie. Actually, it's not a toughie.
No.
Yeah. Good for him, though. Guy's got talent. So then the Lions played. And naturally...
Undefeated.
Yeah,
Still
I predicted
undefeated.
a loss. Well, let's see. First week I predicted a win, and they tied. And then I predicted a loss, and they won. So... I'm batting 1,000. I think I should just not make predictions.
No, keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
The offense made a lot of mistakes.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. They had 2 picks. I mean, they were the kind of picks where it's not like, oh, why'd you throw it to the other team? But still. It wasn't like the 6.
They have no continuity right now.
No. Well, and that's what someone was trying to tell me. They're like, oh, I think Bevel's doing a good job. And I said, really?
They're just not clicking. And I don't know why it takes so long, because the other teams throw people into their offenses, and you're professionals, so.
Well, and what have I seen that does show some gelling and continuity would be Stafford to Galladay and Stafford to Hawkinson.
Yes.
Maybe that's what you focus on until someone can stop it.
Right, they got to get Jones Jr. involved a little more, and
yeah. And Amendola, well, he has been, but He does still
they
seem to be the bailout guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like your
That's
third
okay.
and short or second or third option. Third option usually, but he's still good.
He's very good. And now he's doing the punt return, the returning things, because what's his nugget? Can't stop fumbling the football.
Oh my God.
Agnew.
Yeah. And Agnew was good last year. And I think the year before as well. So I don't know what happens to these guys. I really don't. I don't
Lapse
see
concentration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like you said, it cost him his job. I mean, when you're only the kick punt returner, you're kind of expendable if someone else can do that job and they're doing other things.
Yes.
So, but here's the other thing that I had though. So, last week when the defense got tired versus the Cardinals and what's his face there, Kyler, really put on a show in the fourth quarter, and they came back and of course tied Detroit. I was a little concerned because he didn't look good at all up until that point, and I wondered, like, when he came back like that, if this means our defense really, really sucks. But they played Phillip Rivers, who is an excellent quarterback, very well, and Kyler Murray put it on the team they played last week, and they won. So, in fact, I think he threw for 350 yards. So maybe the defense is really good, actually. I know they've held two teams to, well, I guess it was 27-27 last week, but again, that was when they kind of collapsed in the fourth. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, actually, not that bad. I've seen him be worse.
How do you feel about the pass rush?
The lack of pass rush.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that we don't have one.
Yeah.
They're just keeping them in the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to beat the Bears, from what I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. So, here's what I think, though. Even though I've been wrong, let's keep in mind I've been wrong every game so far. The North looks like crap in general. What was supposed to be one of the strongest divisions in football, the Bears look like crap, the Packers look like crap, and the Vikings look like crap.
Yeah. Cousins is smart.
Maybe that's too strong a word.
No, he's getting paid a lot of money, and now I don't think much is expected of him.
Yeah.
He's gonna take that money and not deliver anything.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
There's kind of talk with Green Bay that Aaron Rodgers he's off, and he was off last year, and he's not. I mean, he still has his, off for Aaron Rodgers is still better than most quarterbacks, but he definitely doesn't look like he did a couple of years ago.
No. Well, the last 2 years he was running for his life all the time.
Yeah.
So that would weigh heavy in anyone's mind.
He still kind of is. He was sacked 5 times in the first game, and he was sacked several times in the last game, even though they won both games.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's still getting hit a lot. But then Trubisky, he didn't look good last weekend either. He made a couple good plays, but he's definitely different from last season. Defenses definitely have a scheme for him now, and they're working him. We'll see if he adjusts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be hopefully, like I said, just Detroit's offense can get some continuity, and Stafford can still sling it. So
yeah.
And Johnson's been running the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
He runs hard, man.
And he's quick and shifty, and I thought he was smaller than he is, so I was glad to find out he's bigger than I thought.
It's good.
Well, just because I was kind of concerned that he was one of those really fast little guys that's going to get hurt a lot because he's too small to really be in there. But no, he's a decent sized guy. So then the other game that I jumped in on, because Michigan had the bye, I decided to watch State. Because they're ranked 18th, they're playing an unranked team, and see how Sparty does. So they lost 10-7 to an unranked Arizona team from the Pac-12 on a missed field goal at the end of regulation. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad news for any team that I'm watching to cheer on. All the Lions keep winning.
Root for the Packers, Micah.
I'll just start predicting that they win every week. But yeah, that State game, so their field goal kicker lines up, hits the kick, but there was a guy who was slow getting off the field, and so they got called for 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty, they re-kick. They missed on that, but there was an Arizona player who was way offsides. They didn't call it, and so instead of getting another kick, the game ended. But what's rare to me is the Pac-12 conference administration, whoever it is, if it's their head of their officiating or whatever, comes out in the media to apologize to Michigan State for the error that they made. But of course it doesn't matter now.
That's right. Game's already in the books.
Yep. So I don't
get how that happens, because you have an official on each sideline, and that's their only job.
Yeah.
How do you not notice that guy's head is across the football?
Maybe it's just a perfect storm of a sneeze, a hot chick that caught the eye in the crowd. Everybody was distracted on that one.
Well, it was in Arizona, so that's very possible.
What do you guys think? If you were GM of a football team, would you have do you think it would be worth it to have some just unbelievably drop dead gorgeous women that you could pull out and throw in the third row every so often?
You mean like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go into that award-winning routine you have.
Yeah. Right.
We need to get the ref's attention. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I'd be distracted.
Yeah. I don't know, but that is amazing when you have that many people out there and no one saw it. But yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It was just Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Ultimately, whatever. So then the next thing I got for you. You have a couple who's been arrested. Their 13-year-old son was found wandering the streets in Ohio, which, Ohio, after running away from his parents. He weighed 65 pounds after being forced to a vegan diet. And his little brother was also severely underweight, a baby. And so the kids have been taken, they've been put in other care, and the parents are going to jail. So what was interesting about that is, looking at that story, you had people that were like, yeah, stupid vegans, and then you had other ones that are like, I'm a vegan and I know how to balance my diet and I could totally keep a kid safe on a vegan diet. What do you guys think of that?
Bullshit.
Apparently he was allowed to eat seeds of any kind and fruit and vegetables of any kind. That was the diet.
That was it?
That was it. That's vegan, man. Can't touch nothing else.
It's tough. Body needs protein to grow, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
That's where even if you're just a vegetarian, you can still eat dairy and all that stuff. I don't know.
If I can't at least have scrambled eggs, I'm out.
Yeah.
You've already lost me.
Hmm.
And then we're going to have
Right.
some discussion about bacon. Is there a vegetarian diet for bacon? I feel like there should be.
Oh,
No.
remember the old guy on Grumpier Old Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he say? I'm 93 years old. Every morning I eat a pound of bacon.
Yeah. At lunch, I eat more bacon,
Yeah.
and then I drink my dinner.
And what was your story on the guy with the bush light? Speaking of drinking your dinner.
Oh, that's awesome! On the college game day, it was Iowa State. This kid had a sign that said "Bush Light supply running low, need money," and then he had his Venmo thing, his Venmo account, and people sent him money. It was on the nightly news. It got up to $46,000,
That's
and
amazing.
then Bush Light matched it, and so did Venmo. So the money that was raised, so it got tripled, and the money is going towards the Children's Hospital right by the Iowa Hawkeye Stadium. So it turned out to be a really cool thing that the kid did.
Now, before I go into my full thoughts on it, it's really cool that they're giving that up to charity because, you know, the wrong kind of guy would be like, haha, you just paid for my new truck. But
Yeah.
I am a little disappointed that he's not the kind of asshole that would literally spend it all on beer.
Just buy pallets and pallets of Bush Light.
Well, or I'm sure you could set up some kind of deal where a certain amount comes every week.
Yeah, I mean, they deliver to stores. Why not your house, right?
Exactly. If I'm ordering 2 cases and a keg every week, which is a lot of beer, I say why not. So good for him. Still a little disappointed. I think it's a cooler story if it was all alcohol, but good for them. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then, next thing I got for you, and this was primarily for you, dude, the GT500. This is a car, like, literally every time I look into car news, there's a story on the GT500 for something. That's why we've been talking about it every week. Which means there's a lot of hype around the car. But so apparently the racing stripe option on the GT500 is $10,000. And Ford says it's because they are hand painted by specific individual. Like you know how the engines are signed off on? This is what they're saying. Like the engines are hand built at a special facility and signed off on with a plaque, right?
Yep.
Apparently the stripe's the same thing. There's a few specific guys that do it. It's hand laid. It's $10,000.
I say pay the money.
That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the other side of it is you're at a minimum of $73,000 with the all-in price of like $96,000. So that tells you that there aren't a lot of options on the car, right?
All right.
If you can get stripes for $10,000 and the base price is $73,000, now we're at $83,000. I know there's a carbon fiber package option that takes it all the way to $93,000, but I don't think this is a car where you're going to be like picking a lot of different things on the exterior and interior. I bet there's only a few. And then you can go out and shame some supercars. Because it sounds like this thing is going to be just crazy, crazy fast. I don't know. It's going to be pretty cool when there's video. I think I brought this up before, but you remember, dude, when you came over that one time and we pulled up the GT350 and it was running at the Goodwood Festival of Speed?
Yeah.
Remember that? And we were listening to it race up that mountain, and the audio on that was just insane. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to step away with the Schwan man at the door, and I had stuff to get.
Did you get some meat?
I did. Got some chicken. I'm getting all that protein so I can whoop you guys in March.
Yeah, you're gonna need more than protein.
You're right. Well, I do get testosterone injections.
I think I'm going to show up and finish third by like 20 pounds and not go to the gym once in the meantime.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's a dig at me. And I'll tell you why. Because Tommy is either not going to bench, or if he does, it's just going to be a small amount because he doesn't want to risk hurting his shoulder worse. And so that means that he expects to whoop me so bad on the squat and deadlift that he might be 20 pounds behind me on a 3-lift total. It's probably accurate. I like that, man. There were layers to that one. There was layers.
I could bench 3 plates scared enough. I know I could.
Hey, fear is a good motivator.
It is.
Awesome.
It's a great motivator.
Okay.
Yes, it is. What about you see those guys that like smack the shit out of each other before they lift? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I'd rather you not.
I'd start crying. I feel like, what did I do?
What'd you do that for?
I'm going home.
Guys, I just opened a Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Wheat.
Oh, I love the moon.
You guys and your damn pumpkin beers.
Kyle, you gotta enjoy the seasons. Don't say you don't drink summer shandy.
I do like summer shandy.
So yeah, pumpkin everything, right? Well, I know that that's kind of a lame deal, but but I really do like this beer. And this pumpkin beer in particular, and yes, I've tried pretty much all of them. It's worth it. Just trust me.
It's almost Han Solo season, guys.
It is.
Yeah. So that I'm okay with. That'll be it. That I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it holds off just a little bit longer. That's all I'm saying.
It will, man. It will.
Just a little. Give me a couple more weeks. Give me a few more weeks. Then I'll be ready. So I had this thing I want to talk about, a Nebraska guy. They had this vehicle that's been in their family forever. It was literally the family farm truck. This is a Model A truck, so this is really old. It was stored in his barn forever, and the guy restores it. And apparently it did have a junk title at some point, though. And they will not let him license it and drive it, even though it's like brand new at this point. I mean, I saw the pictures of it. It looks perfect, top to bottom. I think that's stupid, for lack of a better term.
You think there's got to be some sort of historical society that would verify that it is in good working condition and make it okay?
Shop.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a rebuilt title for a smashed car. And as long as it's inspected and deemed safe for the road, it gets a branded title, but you can license it and drive it. I don't get this at all. There must be something special to that junk designation that's different than... I don't know. I mean, if you watched old seasons of Fast and Loud, you saw when Richard got that F40 Ferrari.
Yep.
That thing was cut in half, basically. And he rebuilt it and titled it and sold it. That's... I don't get it. Like I said, it's Nebraska. You'd think it'd be California, but it's Nebraska. So apparently Nebraska sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the Cornhuskers?
Retitling cars. Yeah.
Is Nebraska the Cornhuskers?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear that, it reminds me of that Dukes of Hazzard remake movie. And that guy gets Daisy Duke all pissed off in the bar. And then Bo comes over and starts jawing at him. And he's like, all I want to know is, did you shuck her corn? I don't know why, but that's I somehow equate that with Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of movies, Eurotrip was on, and oh my God, was I laughing.
That movie is great.
Early Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. When they get that absinthe at the bar.
Yes.
That's awesome. Little green fairy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. So, the UAW and GM are at a standstill. 46,000 workers walked off the job on Tuesday to strike over failed negotiations. And the heart of the matter is simply they took massive cuts, I guess, to their contracts when they got the bailout during the recession. GM has worked their way back to profitability, and the fact they're having record profits the past 2 years. The UAW wants a piece on behalf of the workers. GM says another recession could be on the horizon. We don't want to split any of this because we want to survive it without any help next time.
They just had a profit of over $12 billion in 2018.
Yeah. It's a record for them. They're having the best business with the ugliest truck in the world. In the history of mankind.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine they would have to spend $1 billion to make it right. But right now they're losing, what, $300 million a day in lack of production?
Yeah. It's one of those things, you know, and Tommy and I were talking about this a little bit. Unions are useful to a point, and then they kind of get in the way. And so I do think that there's something needs to be worked out here because obviously they took a big cut. The workers did when the downturn happened. Now, you know, it does seem kind of like fair play. Okay, this is the agreement we used to have. You're getting these record profits. Can we get back to that? You know, I'm not exactly sure that that's what's happening, but yeah, like you said, I gotta believe something's got to be able to be worked out. But
they'll figure it out. They gotta get back to making those new HDs.
Someone said that the new HD pickup looks like that kid on Family Guy with the upside down head.
Did I tell you guys my nephew Jason got hired last week with GM down near Lansing. He'll be moving down there in February.
Nice.
Good for him.
Yeah.
My buddy Aaron has worked there for, I don't know, 18 years at least, maybe longer now.
Okay. He's going to be a line supervisor, and then obviously hope to move up. But he's going to make more money starting than his parents do almost at the end of their career teaching.
That's amazing.
Like almost 10 grand more.
That's okay.
Yeah. Good old Michigan Tech, baby.
No, you know, and I'm sure they will work it out. This is like the first full work stoppage though since like early 2000s, I guess. So it's not common, of course, but as you said, dude, they're gonna work this out so everybody gets back to work and making money. I don't know.
Well, it's good to see GM's making money though.
Yeah. Well, like
Yes,
I mean,
is.
you know, I've said several times on here, I do think that they screwed up the looks of the Camaro, but I really hope that it sticks around because, you know, it'll just be replaced with a Nissan in the marketplace if it goes away. And that sucks. Because I know, like, the number one selling car, like, in the U.S. has been the Toyota Camry for many years. I think the other ones have beat it here and there, but in general, it's the Toyota Camry. And it's supposed to be a good car. I'm sure it is. But have you seen one?
Yeah.
It's indistinguishable from most cars. Like, honestly, it's one of those soulless, joyless cars that just exists.
Uh,
Yeah, it's like
I don't know.
that and the Honda Accord.
Yeah. I don't. I think this is how I feel about it. It's a car for people who don't really give a shit what they drive.
Right. It's a bunch of dads buying a car for their teenage daughter, and then she goes to college, and she's like, "Oh, that's just what I've always had.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep buying it."
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm sure it's a nice car. I'm sure they're reliable. I'm sure they're well appointed. It's not that. It's just soulless. That's just how it is. No one gets excited about a Camry unless they're weird.
Yeah, you don't hear of somebody collecting a bunch of vintage Camrys.
No. In 30 years, no one's going to open a barn and go, "Oh my God, a 2010 Accord." Call Barrett Jackson. Yeah, I don't think so. However, I do believe people will be doing that with a Mustang GT, Boss 302, a Hellcat, Scat Pack, SRT8. I do believe that will be the case in 20, 30 years with these cars. I do believe that, absolutely. But it's not for everyone. You know, some people got to buy a Camry. And then before I get to the last thing, we were talking just before we started recording, the car and driver story, the one car for life. And I told you guys, and I like, and I mean the perfect example of it. But for me, one car for life, and I'm talking muscle cars here, because obviously we live up north, and I couldn't have a '68 Mustang Fastback, big block 4-speed car for, every day. One car only up here. That would be impossible. But so this is definitely the muscle car question, and for me, that's the one. That's the one that got me into cars in the first place. It's Steve McQueen drove one, man. It doesn't get cooler than that.
oh, exactly.
What about you guys?
Old muscle car. Well, if it's vintage,
It could be anything, man. It could be new or old. It's just
it'd
you
be
only get
newer
one.
then.
What's that?
It'd be newer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's divide it up.
I'm a fan of this new Corvette that's coming out, man.
It's pretty slick.
Plus the
slick.
technology that goes with it. It's pretty, like that's the part of the newer thing. I don't know.
It's going to be disgustingly fast. That's for sure.
I'll take one of the new Lincoln Tone cars. And if it's not fast enough, I'll just put a blower on it. Or upgrade the turbos. It probably has an EcoBoost.
See, I thought, dude, well, and I get what you're saying. There's a difference between a car you'd expect to be able to drive every day versus maybe like a car just to have that you're not depending on. Because I thought you would have went like R code Fairlane, like 427.
Uh-huh.
Or even like a Cobra Jet Mustang or Torino. That's where I thought you'd go with it. And then on the outside, I thought maybe the Shelby GT350. Just because that's a hell of a car, too. But I like your choice, Kyle. Corvette. I like Corvettes. I do. That white convertible Grand Sport I saw at the National Corvette Museum was that last summer. That was that car made me sit there for quite a while. Like I didn't want to leave
awesome.
it. I felt like we bonded. But it wasn't mine, so
I can bring you to a good home.
yeah,
I'll take care of you.
I would. I totally would. Yeah, if I was gonna do modern muscle, I would want something special. I just don't. I don't have a strong feeling towards one or the other, but a Hellcat Red Eye or the GT350R or the ZL11LE, those are all amazing. And the only reason I say that is because I couldn't do a Corvette just because it only seats 2. And Jules would never allow it. So even if I said it, it would never happen. Just being honest. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I would definitely do the 68 Fastback, though. That is a holy grail car for me. That is a car I'll probably never get, but you never know. Maybe I'll work it out someday. Oh, and then a quick update. So the dude in Iowa, he had his auction, 93 cars out of his farm.
Coyote Johnson.
Coyote Johnson. So they gave a little insight. Apparently the locals told the news station that he's Coyote Johnson because his affinity for the 69 Roadrunner. He was always trying to get one when he was a kid, and that's how he got the name Coyote, because he's chasing the Roadrunner. And then he sold like 7 of them in this auction. So apparently he caught it.
That's cool.
1.28 million. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Not bad. Like I said, some people acted like they were disappointed in that, but that's a lot of money for cars that were sitting around his property doing nothing for him for many years.
Yep.
You know. And there was Chevelles, there was Roadrunners, there were Chargers, there were Super Bs, there was every kind of muscle car. So it is pretty rare when cars that have basically been written off, because, a lot of fan clubs and stuff, they have registries for these things and they track them. So these would be cars that people didn't even know were still around. And a bunch of them now are out there. So, I don't know. It's cool. I like it. All right. So then this last bit. So this Kavanaugh guy, Supreme Court Justice, he keeps getting drugged through this nonsense where a new random person pipes up and makes an allegation that he sexually assaulted them at some party at Yale way back when. So they want to impeach him, right? Well, here's the thing. Yet again, there's no one to corroborate the story. In fact, in this time, the New York Times made the additional mistake of taking an excerpt from a book that was written and running with it and not publishing the most significant part of the story, which was the woman denies it ever happened in the first place. So this is a third party, a guy, who's also best friends with one of the attorneys for the Clintons. Just throwing it out there. Who's claiming that someone pushed... This is where it gets weird. So apparently they're passing around a fake penis at a party. So they're saying. And someone pushed him into putting the penis in the woman's hand at a party. The woman says it never happened. Blah, blah, blah. So, all of a sudden now, there's a lot of people that are starting to call for him to go ahead and start libel proceedings against all these people. Because a lot of people are running with these stories. And it's quite obvious at this point that the Christine Blasey Ford thing was a lie. It's pretty clear that she was coached into doing what she did. And I'm not saying she's not a victim of sexual assault, because maybe she is. Maybe someone touched her. I don't know. But it wasn't this guy. That's what is clear. In fact, she was very careful not to say that directly in any interview or any proceeding that they had. She just kept saying she was assaulted.
Yep.
So, to me, my bullshit meter on that one was going off. And like I said, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I fall somewhere towards libertarian. But ultimately, I don't even like that. Maybe I don't like any of it. But, But this one is even worse because you have a guy who's best friends with the attorneys that are representing the Clintons and all this stuff. And he publishes a book or a story or an op-ed or something making these allegations. The New York Times and several other places are running with it. Keep in mind that people are still calling for his impeachment, even though all of the stuff has been pointed out as bullshit. But then I learned another little tidbit that's it's kind of funnier. So impeachment proceedings have to be based around something that someone did during their tenure in office. That's the law. So this conversation that they're having, or this talk, ultimately it means nothing, and that's why the Justice Department has dismissed it. Like, kind of openly, they're making fun of the fact that the Democrats keep bringing it up. Which means, of course, that it's just to muddy political waters, right? They're trying to galvanize their base to get out and vote. And so, in this case, they're willing to drag this guy through the mud, his family, his kids, just for points, basically.
Yep.
I'm not a litigious person, but I think this guy needs to start suing people because I don't think it's going to stop until he does.
Right. Defamation of character, big time.
Yeah. It's too far.
Yeah.
All this stuff is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Beto O'Rourke sure helped AR-15 sales in the last couple of weeks, though.
Yeah, and he cut his approval rating in half in the process. So he went from 8% to 4% since he said that.
Yeah.
So,
oops.
I don't know. Jimmy Carter just came out and said, this is Jimmy Carter. He doesn't think he could have been a president at 80 years old, and he doesn't think anybody should try. Well, guess who would be 80 in office? The two Democratic frontrunners.
Yeah.
And they are too damn old. And there is a lot of evidence now that these guys are all hopped up on amphetamines, that's how they're keeping them going, so they can run to these different conferences, and that's why they act so erratic at times. It's just ridiculous. This whole thing is just one big circus.
I saw Elizabeth Warren is second behind, what's his nugget there, vice president.
She's just... The poll that I read this morning said that she's like 2 points behind Sanders.
Really?
So supposedly it's Biden, Sanders, and then Warren, but they think Warren's going to pass Sanders here soon. And here's what I think is funny about that. A year ago, we all knew she was crazy, right?
Yeah.
A year ago, everyone agreed, even in the Democratic Party, that this woman was nuts, that she claimed to be a minority and lied about it on her Harvard app to get preferential treatment so she could get into Harvard and get preferential treatment all the way through schooling while she was at Harvard. Now, Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are both facing prison time for lying and getting their daughters in. Now, granted, they paid, but the result is still the same. You have a finite amount of these things that colleges hand out, right? And so Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to the admissions department at the University of Southern California to have their daughters listed as athletes, is what actually happened. But that's to give them an advantage. It gets them into school. It adds prestige to their resume, which is all stupid, of course. But there's also a limited amount that Harvard has to give out to minorities, especially Native Americans, when it comes to this. And so her lying like that is, to me, it's she's guilty of the same crime as anybody else who would try to use the system or game it, to improve her place. But now she's gonna be the second runner to Biden instead. Like, a year ago, we all knew this, and it was a little surprising that she wasn't brought up on charges because she eventually admitted that she lied. Well, actually, first she took a blood test and found out she was 1/1200th Native American, and tried to use that as justification for what she said. And of course, everyone ripped her apart over it. But now she might actually, she could end up winning this whole deal like a year later. And people are acting like this is the same crazy, right? I mean, she just has a better script she's reading off of right now, but it's the same person.
It's the same crazy that says that Trump is such a liar.
Right.
Trump is this and Trump is... Oh,
right.
What a nightmare.
It just... This is
Trump's totally going to win again.
He is going to annihilate these fools.
Easily. Very easily.
Regardless. What's funny is Michael Moore and John Oliver and some others are already starting to warn this. Like, hey, you guys don't see the writing on the wall. Any of these idiots you put up are going to lose. Like, I don't know. I was watching when I sent you guys that funny picture earlier.
The Alaskan snow dragon?
Yeah.
Oh, not that one.
No, that was Tommy. No, the podcast I was listening to, Rob Schneider was on it. And they were just talking about that, like, with the cancel culture and the Me Too and all this stuff kind of balled into one, and you've got these political candidates now that are making these ridiculous claims that they're starting to feel like, what did he say? He goes, drive 45 minutes out of any city. He goes, and you're in a totally different world. and you know, he just said, like, and he feels comedians are going to be a part of this big pushback because guys like Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan and all these major comedians, you know, they make their living on being outrageous. They're supposed to point out the outrageous things and make fun of it. Well, they're getting caught up in this crap because people don't think they should be allowed to make jokes anymore, basically. Unless they're approved. And these guys, they're not going to put up with that. Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock have already basically just gave everybody the finger. Like, you don't like it, I don't care. You know. And Rob Schneider thinks that there's about to, like, the wave that got Trump elected, you know, they think that there's going to be a big wave that pushes back, and he's like, no. He's like, it's worse now. You made it worse. If you were hoping to have some sort of backlash because Trump tweets or whatever the thing is that you don't like about him, you know, it's failing miserably. You know, people don't like these. You know, you're in an echo chamber with these crazy liberals that like to show up at rallies and scream, but the majority of America, the continent of the U.S., is vehemently against all this crap. And when you have Beto O'Rourke saying what he said, which is basically, we're going to come door to door and confiscate your legally bought firearms.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And now you're taking the Democrats who are maybe the union worker in Detroit who likes to go hunting up north with his family is now looking at you like you're crazy. You know, you're going to lose these guys. And Hillary did a really good job of losing, you know, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, and all these middle states she called flyover states, and Biden called them that too. You're going to lose.
Yeah, and they lost.
And they lost, and they're going to lose worse because now you're doubling down on the crazy, right? And you've got those two Muslim women who say some people did something, and white men in America need to get on their knees and beg forgiveness and blah blah blah. It's not going to happen, and all you're going to do is galvanize everyone to get rid of you. And Trump will finish 8 years. That's what's going to happen.
We like to call it, we've got a term for it with my coworkers. We call it the pussification of America.
It is. And people are, the thing of it is, that ideology mainly exists in your city centers. You get a little ways outside of the city, and yeah, those people can push policy at a certain level, but most people are not that way. Republican or Democrat, most people slide more towards the middle on most issues, which makes them somewhat conservative, somewhat, liberal, right? I mean, that's the definition of being in the middle. And they think all of this is horse shit. But Rob Schneider is also the one when he's like, when all this stuff was first going on, he was the one who got in trouble in Hollywood because he stepped out and said, he goes, oh, for all the people who think like we're on the brink of a meltdown and society's about to fall apart, he goes, I don't see that. Step out into your neighborhood. He goes, none of that's happening.
Right.
No one's running around with torches. Yeah, it's all a bunch of crap generated by the media and these people. I don't know if it's drugs. Like at this point, are they all crazy? Are they all on drugs? Are they all like, what's going on? Their detachment from reality is just, it's very real right now. These people are crazy.
Definitely liberal media for sure. They make the stories, they push it where they want it to go. Right.
Well, and the bias is so heavy now that it's just, everyone sees it. Like before, you were getting some outrage. Someone like me or you will read a story and go, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? But, I think that ship has sailed. If the New York Times or MSNBC or CNN or any of these decides we're going to run these ridiculous stories, I think people are onto it. Most people. I mean, the people who want to believe it will. But they were already there before you wrote your story. So you haven't gained ground there. You just, crazy likes crazy. So, it's stupid. It's just all stupid at this point. But, I don't know. That's my take on the whole Kavanaugh thing. He should sue. Because it's not going to stop until some people either lose their jobs or go to jail.
Right.
I don't know, guys.
All said.
Well,
yeah.
That was my thoughts on that. I don't know. I think like most people, like you guys, like most people, I'm sick of seeing this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you have a valid story, if you have like, oh my God, someone did something horrible like Harvey Weinstein, then yeah, nail that son of a bitch.
Yep.
But if you're going to make that shit up and continue to make it up and be pointed out that you're wrong and then double down and continue to make it up, what do you want from everybody? Most people are going to see you for the crazy, trashy person you are. I don't know.
Agreed.
There you are.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, fellas. Yeah. It is what it is, I guess.
So
it is where we live.
How's your pumpkin beer?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's cold. Good. Flavorful. Pumpkin-y. I'm ready. I'm ready to usher in fall. 3 more days, right?
Yeah. Crazy.
And then every day past that is a blessing that there isn't snow.
Amen.
Mine. Well, that's it for me, fellas. Not to end the podcast on a down note, but we were having so much fun earlier, I didn't want to jump in with the middle of that then.
No, you're good, dude. That was good.
But yeah, that's good for me. What do you guys got? What do you guys think for Sunday? Detroit gonna win?
Philadelphia is Wentz playing or not?
I don't know. The only two that I heard about was Roethlisberger's out for the season and Drew Brees is gonna miss at least 6 weeks.
Okay,
those were the two big ones.
Carson Wentz's bones are made of glass.
Yes, he has been playing well, but even they, I guess, don't look as dominant as they did before. I kind of feel like there's only a couple teams right now that really look, legit.
New England looks legit.
Yeah, they do. That was one of them.
Go figure.
Now, to be fair, I'm basing that off of their win over the Steelers. Beating Miami 43-0 now, I don't know. I think Michigan could beat Miami. I think U of M would kick their ass. And Miami, by the way, just traded their best defensive player. What's his name? Fitz something. He's a cornerback. Anyways, they just traded him off too. So they're not done dumping talent.
Yeah. What did I see? If they stay the way they are, they could have two picks inside the top 10 next year.
Yeah. I think that's their plan. I think they're like, screw this. We're just going to get 2 top picks, which, I mean, you guys know how that goes. What if you pick Ryan Leaf and Brian Bosworth?
Tony Manrich. Yeah.
Right? And you sacrificed an entire season, pissed your fan base off because they know you tanked, and it gets you nothing.
Yep. I don't think you can't do that.
How many seasons has Belichick tanked? How many seasons did Mike McCarthy tank? Well, let's talk about the Packers. They only won 1 Super Bowl, which is, 100% more than the Lions have ever won. But they've fought and every season for the best possible record and to try to win a Super Bowl with whatever they had, and they're still doing that. They went 6-9-1 last year, but they didn't tank. Yep. They were fighting at the end to win games. I don't know. I wouldn't be too proud to be on that Miami team or a Miami fan at this point.
No.
It's bogus.
But at least they've won Super Bowls. They've won some. Detroit's never been to any.
No. But this year it's going to be different.
This is the year.
Well, awesome, guys. Good chatting with you.
Yeah. Let's sign off, and I'm going to pound the rest of this beer.
Right on.
All right.